Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed HPCL employees and viewers tuning in from across the organization, welcome back to another insightful episode of HP Unplugged. Today, we have the privilege of featuring a pillar of our organization, Mr. Narayanan Iyer, Executive Director, Legal. With over 38 years of experience in the oil and gas industry, Mr. Iyer's expertise and guidance are instrumental in navigating the complex legal landscape of HPCL. Mr. Iyer's impressive academic background includes a master's degree in international banking and finance, along with qualifications such as Company Secretary, Member of Institute of Cost Accountants of India, and a bachelor's degree in law. This diverse skill set allows him to provide comprehensive legal advice on all matters crucial to HPCL's operation. As the head of the legal department, Mr. Iyer leads a team of over 35 law officers. His leadership ensures that HPCL has the legal expertise necessary to handle a wide range of issues, from finalizing agreements and managing litigations to overseeing joint ventures, loans, and various contracts. Join us as we explore the intricate world of legal affairs with Mr. Narayanan Iyer. This episode of HP Unplugged promises to be an enriching experience, offering valuable insights for anyone interested in the legal aspect of oil and gas industry. Sir, thank you very much first of all for coming to HP Unplugged, and we extend our warm welcome to you in this episode. Sir, diving right into your experience and your journey in HPCL, what some insights on the most significant legal changes you have witnessed during your career, and how HPCL adapts to these kind of changes?
See, what happens is over the last almost 4 decades, the most important changes from the oil and gas industry perspective which I have seen is those which relates to environment.
Okay.
And they have been driven both by law regulation as well as public interest litigation by some people who are concerned about the pollution. I'll just take an example, like in Delhi there was a lot of pollution.
Okay.
And so we had this Prashant Bhushan had a NGO, the son of Shanti Bhushan, and he is known for public interest litigations. So he moved to the Supreme Court. He moved initially for having the ridge forest and all that made okay, and then the Taj was changing color. So they wanted to make sure that the pollution around the Taj and Mathura and all Delhi and all is reduced. But we realized that the things will come to our side also. And then they moved applications that there is a lot of pollution, so a committee needs to see and what kind of things can be done to reduce the particulate matter in the air, the sulfur oxides, SOx we call it, the nitrogen oxides and how to reduce. And with this, the entire oil industry came under the eye of the Supreme Court. And what they wanted is that they wanted changes that we move in line with the Euro standards. Now that would need a lot of investments. So what happens is we had a committee in the oil industry itself, and we also made representation as to what is possible, what is not, and what are the kind of timelines we need to shift into that regime. So there were changes needed in the refineries. For example, I will tell you, we needed changes to remove sulfur from diesel. So we had to put up DHDS units. And those days it cost us around 1,500 crores. At today's prices, maybe around 6,000 crores of rupees. And only to remove sulfur from diesel. That's it. So it hardly fetches us any money, once you sell the sulfur later on. And it's a cost intensive exercise. No question of IRR or something like that. Okay. And then there are other changes also which we needed to make to the refinery, and we moved the oil industry together was there, or Vinod Shenoy was there from the technical side, Ganesh Gandham and Vinod Shenoy were there, and I was there from the legal, and we made representations through our own ministry and all, And we tried to see to it that there is a balance struck between what the court wants as to the speed with which we go and what kind of things the oil industry can do.
Okay.
So that is it from our side, from the environment perspective. But came another change, and that change was like the oil industry was freed up to competition, and people in the oil industry were used to discussing things amongst themselves and moving together because the mindset was that we are all the same. We are all PSUs, we are all the same, we are held by the government of India, and we are brothers, so we can do together everything. But then there came a law called the Competition Act. So where we are supposed to make sure that we don't discuss prices, all of us independently decide our prices, bids are separate and those on. So these things we had to educate to our people and all the various SBUs which are there. We had to tell them as to how to go about it and all that, and so that we don't run foul of the competition law and then get penalized. So these are the significant some of the changes which happened here.
Sir, every business transaction involves a certain degree of legal risk. So, can you elaborate on your approach of balancing risk mitigation with the pursuit of new opportunities in HPCL?
See, we have a attitude in our department. We would like the business to go ahead. I mean, we understand that every opportunity which is there is bound to have some risk. So what we do is that over the years we have developed a checklist of the various checks which we need to see from the regulatory perspective, the contract perspective, the litigation perspective and all that. And this detailed checklist which runs into many pages, but I just broadly broken it down. And we go through it and see that whether is there something which is a no-go, or is it that no, I mean it can be mitigated, this risk can just be identified, kept in mind while taking a decision, and then we can still go ahead. So we look at it from that perspective. Usually within India, no-go situations come lesser. But when you go abroad, it might happen that you might meet a situation where you are getting into a new opportunity, but at the same time you identify a risk which is like so serious that you may not be able to go ahead. I can give you an example. Suppose you invest in a country and that regulation there in the country does not allow you to repatriate your funds or profits back. There are some countries like that. You have to reinvest into that very country. So that may not be to your liking. So that might be a no-go situation.
Thank you, sir. Sir, over your distinguished career of over 38 years, you might have handled a lot of legal matters. But can you share a specific case, without giving like a lot of specific details about it, that legal challenge that you found particularly rewarding and impactful on HPCL?
See, we handled a lot of cases. I can give you one example where we got some monetary advantage because of our intervention. Now what happens is in the electricity industry, the government, the state, each of the states, they are looking to mop up more and more taxes. So their intention is at crossroads between the taxpayer on the one side and the taxing authorities, the government on the other. So the government's intention is try to take out May, but in an indirect way or in a softer way. They are also aware that they cannot do it too directly sometimes. Now one such area is electricity. Electricity, what happens is when you buy electricity, there are a lot of components of cost. And a person who purchases electricity, somebody generates it, somebody and sells it. If I am selling electricity to an outside person, a duty might come. But if I am generating electricity on my own and consuming it for myself, you may not have a duty. Like that, there are some other obligations over the years which have come called for renewable energy. So what happens is the government is moving towards renewable energy so that we are less polluting, we are more environment friendly and all that. And by law, they have made renewable power obligations they have cast based on your consumption. So we have got our refineries which are huge consuming of power, industries are there. And what happens is like we have to buy the power or we generate it ourselves. Now we have got what is known as renewable power purchase obligations, RPPO. So either you pay money and you get the obligation, you buy it. So those who are producing renewable power, you buy it from them or you pay for it. And the other way is that you try to escape the RPPO obligation
By producing on your own.
by producing the renewable power on your own. Now, what we found is that when there was a claim against Vizag refinery, and that claim by the authorities was 84 crores of rupees. Okay. And what we found is 84 crores, that is per year, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, every year. So, how do you get out of it? So, we went through the law and we found a notification where the law permits that in case you are co-generating power, then RPPO obligations is not there. So, co-generation involves you are not only producing electricity on your own, but you are also using the heat for further processing and then producing power or using it in some way such that power is saved. Okay. So we found that refinery was actually using the waste heat to boil water and at the same time use it in their boilers, produce steam and all that, and at the same time save electricity. So we used this and we made a representation, and then accordingly this demand of 84 crores per year has been dropped.
Nice.
So that's a saving, just an example.
That's a nice way of dealing with it, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, traditionally the legal department is often seen as a risk-averse function, focused on compliance. However, in today's dynamic business environment, the legal team can also play a vital role as enabler. So, can you elaborate on how the legal department of HPCL is acting as an enabler for certain functions or departments in its operations?
Yeah, in fact, the legal, contrary to some people's belief, we touch every line of business. Every department comes to us whenever they want to get into a new business, a new agreement or an arrangement with some party, or if they need interpretation of a contract, or if there is a dispute. So at every stage, right from the beginning of the relationship with any outside party, or even the breaking or the ending, at every stage we get involved in the business. Now what happens is sometimes we also enable things to happen. I remember an incident a few years ago. The head of Mumbai refinery, Mr. K. Murli, who later on became Director Refineries, he came to me one day and said that, Narayan, we need to have a piece of land adjoining to the refinery, 56 acres in size, big piece of land. Very difficult to get that size of land because the Mumbai refinery needs to expand and also comply with the regulations, the increased environmental issues and all. So we need space. So Calico company was closing and the official liquidator of the High Court, he had come and conducted an auction. HPCL participated and we lost in the auction. And some builders group has won the auction. So the builder's intention was that you put up buildings there, either under an SRA scheme or whatever and all that, and make money. But our intention was to put up some tankage or whatever product for the refinery, to expand. And the refinery is a very, in Bombay, the space is less. As time increases, you have regulations such that, from safety perspective and all, you need greater area for a refinery. And Bombay is so expensive. So crowded, you don't get land. So this was one opportunity, and when he came to me, we have already lost. I mean, the auction is through, everything is done. He says, how do you get it back? Narayan, just think about it. I said, fine, get me the papers, we'll go through it. So we went through it and met the lawyers and all that, but there was no solution coming because they said, no, you cannot just set aside this auction. There was no legal answer to this problem. So then what we thought is, let's think beyond legal. Is there something else which we can touch and which will affect the court? So I found that the auction was conducted in a hall which was part of a bar cum restaurant in Mumbai at Ville Parla. So there is a hotel which has got a bar and restaurant, and there is a hall above it, part of the same hotel, and the auction was conducted there. So I thought, why not tell the court that it looks improper that a court conducted auction has taken place in a bar cum restaurant.
That's clever.
You know.
Yeah.
So it looks odd.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks fishy.
Correct.
It's not that anything is wrong is being done,
Right.
but it looks very odd.
Yeah.
And at the same time tell that we are willing to spend more, we are a government company, we are a genuine VA.
Yeah.
And the intention of the court is to try to get the maximum money,
Yeah.
so that they can pay off the creditors, the employees, the taxes and everything.
Right.
So we put such an application and we actually succeeded.
Oh, nice.
And we got the earlier order set aside. The auction conducted afresh, and therein we succeeded and we got that land now.
Oh, that's great, sir. So re-bidding was done.
Yeah,
and then-
rebidding was done and we succeeded.
Okay, that's great, sir. Sir, we all see those wacky, lawsuits in the news, which are funny, and so something, strange or dangerous that has happened in HPCL, which you have faced as an unusual legal case. If so, if you can share with us.
Yeah, I think I'll tell you an incident which is off track kind of a thing. We were acquiring land for Bijwasan.
Okay.
And to put up a depot and LPG plant in Delhi. I was in Delhi that time. And what happened is, when the land is to be acquired under the land acquisition law, the file has to be signed by the secretary of the concerned department.
Okay.
In this case, the Urban Lands Department in the state of Delhi. There's a lady IAS officer, she was to sign it. And she had a lot of questions. She needed a lot of clarifications from us, and we went there to meet her. She asked us some of the questions and said that formally, I'm not asking you, but these are the questions which you have got, some 10-15 questions are there. You clarify in writing, and then we look at the file again. While we were discussing, a phone call came, and she was speaking on the phone and we could hear from the other side, as to what is happening. And the phone call was that her own, when we asked later, her secretary, who is another lady, that is the secretary's personal secretary.
Personal secretary, okay.
Her brother was in AIMS hospital because he was not well and he required blood.
Okay.
Now, this lady told us that, a lot of us from the department have already donated, and I don't know, we need to find out who can donate. So that happened, and when we were leaving, I looked at the name of her personal secretary who was there, and we went back. Once we went back to office, there was a colleague of mine, Pradeep Bansal, sitting next to me, who was looking after vigilance.
Okay.
So I told Pradeep, come, let's go, we'll go to AIMS. Kaam hai. He said, okay, he didn't ask why. So I took my bike, both of us went in my bike to All India Institute of Medical Science.
Okay.
And there suddenly we realized the problem, that I don't know the name of the patient.
Okay.
Okay, I only knew his sister's name.
Sister's name.
So I thought, let me ask by that surname if somebody is there. And we found that Bhattacharya, one person was there, the patient, and we identified the patient. And we went there and said that we heard that you needed blood and we have come to give blood.
Okay.
And both of us gave blood. And they said, who are you? So I said, no, we just heard that you wanted. And I said, I am working with Hindustan Petroleum.
Okay.
Just thought I'll tell you, I heard that you needed blood. So we gave. And then we went away. So she was very thankful and all that. But what happened the very next day, our regional manager called me and said, Narayan, secretary is calling again. Maybe some more clarification she wants. So we went to the office again. And there she says that, who is Narayan? So I said, I am Narayan. So I said, I can't thank you enough. So I said, really, you nothing, what happened? I was also surprised because I didn't know that she already knew. And she said, for such good people, I can't ask, I'm getting emotional. Such good people, I can't ask questions, so many questions. So she tore off all the questions. He said, I am approving the land acquisition.
Oh, that's nice.
So that's it. So this incident, I am remembering something funny, something different.
Different, yeah.
Yeah.
Through goodwill, getting something done.
But we never imagined that. We just did it. That time we were young and, somebody wanted help, so we did it.
Yeah, that's great, sir.
Yeah.
So now, sir, coming to the work-life balance, we talk about it a lot. Now, maintaining a healthy work-life balance can be challenging in your roles because there are so many, plus there is a lot of tension because there is so much legal cases and a lot of it on binding. So how do you unwind, and what is your favorite pastime or something about that?
So what I do is I listen to music.
Okay.
And long ago itself, what I decided is that I listen to music in the office also, but not during office hours.
Okay.
So I got my own set of speakers in my room.
Okay.
Okay. So if I should sit late, after 5:30 when the office is closed, and I'm continuing to sit late, I'll put on the music.
Okay.
And I'll work along with the music,
nice.
so that I don't feel the thing that I'm sitting late
late.
I don't feel down. Later I also started something. I suddenly found that sitting late in the office, the family is not very happy. And when you go back late, your wife waits for you for having food. Rest of the family might have, but she generally waits, It's not good. So I decided that I'll not sit beyond a point in time, and even if work is there beyond that, I'll go back home
and come.
I'll spend time with the family till they go to sleep. And then after that, at 10 o'clock, 10:30, I'll restart working in my computer.
Okay.
And then maybe till late in the night and finish it. So that is one. And second is, of course, every year, without fail, I'll take 10 to 15 days off.
Okay.
Take the family out.
Okay.
And we go on a vacation.
Okay. So where's your favorite vacation place?
Favorite? Well, I like to go to Southeast Asia.
Southeast Asia.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's my favorite.
So you are a beach person or a mountain person that people say?
Beach.
Beach person.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Nice. And sir, music से थोड़ा याद आया आपका in college you have participated in a medley competition where you won it for your team that I heard from someone. So if you can elaborate something on that.
See, what happened is we were in a quiz competition, and I studied in a commerce college. So usually what used to happen is those who are the engineering colleges, the medical colleges, architecture, those people used to be very good, or the premium institutes of management like IIM. Those days, IIM was like number one. So they used to always win. So commerce college was unheard of in the quiz scene. Okay. So we had a competition, and we were fairly behind. Okay. And the last round happened to be the round for music.
Okay.
So the music round is usually the favorite, with all the kids, and most kids, they like rock music and, the Western classical and all kinds of things. And when that round came, they introduced for the first time something called fastest fingers first.
Okay.
So we had an electrical buzzer, and we need to press it. And whosoever presses first can answer. So I remember there were 6 questions. Okay. And the music, they would play a very small bit of the music and then ask the question.
Yeah.
So the first one which they played, they only played this much. Tin, 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 and I pressed the button. Just this much, tin, 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 and I pressed it. So everybody was shunned, because we had 2 others. They said, Narayan, are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the song.
Yeah.
Then the quiz master asked me, which song? I said, Black Knight, Deep Purple. So that was the right answer. So we won 2 points because of that. And like that, the next one was a Western classical piece. Ta-ta-ta. So I pressed it again. Only this much, okay. And
so
that
not giving chance to anybody else.
Nobody else. So that was good.
Okay.
And that is the first portion, the first movement of the 5th Symphony of Beethoven.
Okay.
It's called Allegro con Brio. Okay, the first movement. Ta-ta-ta-ta. So it goes like that, okay. So like that, all the 6 questions we got it. Great. And we won a prize. So that's
great.
it.
So from back you won the prize.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And there's one more thing that I was researching on you, and I got that you have an HMV license. And you renew it, you are still renewing it. So what is the story behind it?
See, I was in aviation.
Okay.
So in the aviation, what happened is those days, might be still there, we have these heavy Bowsers and all. And we have workers also who normally drive. But all the officers were encouraged to have a heavy vehicle license, so that what happens is that in case of need suddenly, and you need to drive, you take. So way back in 1986, I took the license, and then I decided to keep on renewing it.
Okay.
So till today I have it.
Till today
Yeah. And now recently, I went to renew. Now you have to actually do a test. A video is taken, and you have to upload that video with the.
Okay.
So I had to go to somebody who had a truck. These driving schools, they have a truck.
Okay. So
I
there you
drove there,
practiced and
I drove a truck and
you
all,
drove
and then
a
they
truck and
uploaded the
all.
video and got it renewed again.
So like what your family tells about it? Why are you getting it?
My wife is happy, but she said,
Why
you take a normal license, it is for much longer period. So this is a
10
headache
years.
because every 3 years you have to
3 years
renew.
you have to
Yeah,
take.
yeah.
But
I don't know now what I'll do. Maybe I might leave it.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. It was a very
pleasure.
engrossing discussion with you, and we really liked the way you answered all the questions and interacted with us.
Yeah.
Thank you very much once again for
Thanks.
coming to HP Unplugged.
Thanks for the opportunity. Thanks. Yeah.
This concludes our insightful conversation with Mr. Narayanan Iyer, Executive Director Legal. His vast experience and dedication to HPCL's legal well-being are truly inspiring. A big thank you to Mr. Narayanan Iyer for joining us on HP Unplugged and sharing his invaluable knowledge. Did you find this episode informative? Stay tuned for more engaging discussions with HPCL's leaders on HP Unplugged. In the meantime, write to prcc@hpcl.in and share your thoughts. Thank you. Namaste.